Welcome to my Radiant Yoru Bind Playbook. In this guide, I will show you my playstyle on Bind that allows to be aggressive, but also control the map at the same time, which I find very effective on Bind. This is the Yoru's probably best map. I will teach you step by step my thought process and explain how to use my setups for maximum efficiency. Remember that each Yoru has its own playstyle, so you're not gonna find everything that is possible in this one video. I am showcasing some of my set plays, but the on-the-fly tricks that I use you will find by watching my stream where I main Yoru every weekday. Before you use the strats from this video, make sure that you've watched my basic Yoru guide because you will need to know all the stuff that I explained there because I will not explain it again in this video. So hop in, it's in the description and on screen here. Our opening gambit on long B is going to be as follows. We're going to stand at the barrier over here at the beginning of the round. Once the barrier comes down, we activate the TP on this line over here, so it travels towards long. Once it reaches here, you're going to exit the TP with a pop flash on long. The pop flash is going to be done from this corner right here. Now, the thing is, you're going to have to do it properly with proper timing. The cross setter you're going to put is in this spot right here as well, but to understand it a little bit better, I'm going to show you with the zoom. This is where you put your crosser, over here, above this darkest spot on the ground, like this, right? You can see it right now here. So when you do this pop flash, it's going to explode right here where I'm standing right here. And it flashes everyone. The most important part about understanding this flash TP timing is to know what you want to achieve. If we have a phantom with 1 second equip time, I'm gonna start the TP before the flash bounces because I need that a little bit of more time to actually have the moment when they're still flashed. So I'm gonna do the TP. I'm gonna line up for the flash goes in, I TP before it bounces, and I look into the wall to not get flashed. This gives me enough time to start killing people when they are either turned around because they are dodging it, or that they are fully flashed and I have more time to kill than one just person. Because this is a lineup where you have to get two essentially to make it work. Getting one for one is not good enough, right? So if you have a stinger though, you can be a little bit later and you can be a little bit more safe because this equip time is 250 milliseconds quicker. So you can go for flash TP like this. Essentially TPing a little bit after the flash bounced because that gives you enough time to go on the rampage there with the weapon because it's shorter equip time. So once more, like this. All right, as you can see, I'm actually dodging the flash here because I start the TP. That's very important to understand, is when you TP over here, you have to look into this direction to not get flashed. So you have to practice this because you're gonna be TPing into this corner by looking into the wall and then you turn around when the pop is gone. Now, if I don't want to be aggressive on long B, I will try to be reactive by having a TP to fall back and a setup of flashes. Now, when I do that, I typically at the beginning of the round go silently to guard into this position, listen to footsteps on my left. If I hear footsteps, I'm gonna set up a TP immediately towards elbow so I can flash and try to get one. If I don't hear any footsteps, I wait a little bit longer and then in like 10 seconds before they reach potentially by shifting over here, I set up a TP to gain a little bit more time on it and then flash to check if there's someone close. Now, when it comes to the flashes, you will have few options. The most commonly used, and I think every single Yoru made this flash by himself, is obviously the AC flash over here, like this. Now, the problem with this flash is, because it is a one-way, so you can swing with it and just get easy kills. If people have enough experience to play against the Yoru, they will know this is coming. And unfortunately, when they know it's coming, it's very easy to counter. Because when you do this flash, it doesn't flash people in this position over here. Someone can be just playing like this, hold you here, you swing out and you get instantly killed. So the two auto flashes that I'm using are like a simple bounce flash from the ground over here that is just somewhere on this area. I don't have a lineup, I just stand like this, bounce like this, and just swing with it. Now, because you're swinging up close, it's a little bit easier to be visible for someone, right? Because you're peeking up close to the angle, so you have a worse timing. But at the same time, the flash is very hard to dodge when you do it this way, because it explodes here behind your back. So someone looking at you is going to have a very hard time fighting this. Now, the other flash is when you can stand in this position freely and you just bounce it from over here. It also doesn't require to have line up anything. You just use any part of this arch like this, and it just bounces behind this pillar on the right and explodes and allows you to fight. When it comes to combining your gate crash with the bind TP, you have few options. My two favorite are like this. One, keep your TP in the garden, and then you go towards the TP with a fake TP. Essentially what you do is you combine your gate crash with your jump bind together. For me, it's mostly up, but you can do it on anything else. And now with a little bit of practice, and by the way, this keybind you should be using always on Yoru, because that should be your default like TP after shooting with an op or something. You're gonna practice jumping kind of like an omen with the TP. So you activate the TP with the bind TP, and then they cover the sounds together. Now, if you practice this well enough, you're gonna be able to essentially cover the sounds. So this is very confusing for the opponents, and the closer you are, the better it is to combine this, because the activation of the sound of TP happens once you press the input. So you want to do it almost as closely as possible with the TP if you want to mask it. But my absolute favorite thing to do on bind is to make people teleport when you want them to. So what I mean by that, let's say the opposing team is doing a split with 3-2 or 4-1. So there's a majority of players going through short, so they can teleport to B Hookah. Now, I can force them essentially, or like push them into teleporting if I make enough sounds with the showers TP, right? So I do something like this. I leave the TP in this corner. I also will use the clone sometimes, not always. It depends on the context. But sometimes I will use the clone to go with me through the TP. And I'll leave the TP, the gate crash in the corner. So now we go to showers. Now you can also aim the clone to not open your doors. You're gonna make noise. You're gonna shoot through the doors to make sure that people will be aware that you TP'd. The moment that happens, like with two sounds of a TP, the opponents will call to go back to B Hookah. That's the moment when you hear that they are TPing from A short to Hookah, you will TP back into this corner. And it's important to understand why in this corner is because the range, the audible range of the TP of the gate crash is 43 meters. So the person who can hear you when you gate crash is gonna be person standing here in front of Hookah. In that position, you can see that someone has to exit the TP and be already here to make even a little bit of sound to hear you TPing to long. When you are fast with your reactions and you gate crash back to long B, the moment you hear the TP activate on Hookah, they will not be able to tell that you TP'd back. And now you can just hold your sight and get kills because those people are just running with full confidence through Hookah because they think there's no one here. Now, depending on the context of the round, you can really get a lot of kills doing this with it, doing this play. Now let's talk about opening Gambit for Hookah. Now this one is very, very fast in execution, so you need to be very aware as well. So how it looks, we're gonna be standing in the corner here on the barrier and almost instantly be active. Once the barrier comes down, we're gonna be moving forward, but actually without pressing W. So we're actually going to be pressing only the left strafe like this. So we don't go forward, but we go forward by hugging the wall. It's a little bit slower than going forward, but it's actually a good thing. So what happens is we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna go like this, flash, peek out. And the flash explodes behind us, and when you time it correctly, people will be out in the open over here getting flashed. Now your goal is to not expose yourself too much, but also swing wide enough to not be exposed to pre-fires close on the corner. So you're gonna do it this way. Get one TP out. And now when it comes to the TP out, you're gonna set it up before the barrier drops. So my typical round would look something like this. At around 5 seconds mark before the barrier goes up, so with 5 seconds left on the clock, I'm gonna put my TP so its duration the longest possible. So either I put the TP straight up into elbow, or the other option would be wait, need to activate it. Or the other option would be use the lineup from here that goes into the corner over here. Now, this can be very dangerous, but I'll explain to you what you want to achieve with it. So I use this TP only if I want to immediately flash and TP out from Hookah. I will not wait with the activation of this TP. Of course, you can also fake, but the point is you want to swing out of Hookah. So I go here, the barrier goes down, I go out, flash, get one, TP out. And now I'm on long. That you want to TP looking into this particular angle, so you have to also work it out. This is important to understand that you have to pre-aim this corner. So you do it this way, barrier goes down, you go out, flash, get one, TP out. And you instantly look into this direction by pre-aiming into this direction because your Yoru TPs out with the same direction that you were looking at. So now you're on long, and over here, they know that you TP'd, so you can either flash on long and try to peek and get a kill, but you can also just make your TP go to side, go here, TP back to side. It's incredibly confusing to your opponents of what just happened. You blew your load, like 2 flashes gone, 2 TPs gone, but if you get any value out of this, if you get even 1 kill, it's worth it, because opponents are completely dumbfounded what happened. And remember to use the double bind when you do this, right? When you're in this corner, over here, you can just do this, right? And you will TP back. Now the point was, of course, that the TP should be already on the side. I don't recommend using any opening gambits like flash TP plays on a short, because the thing is, right here there's so many angles and the players from the attacker side are just so fast in this area that he will never flash all of them, and you will be in crossfire of 2 opponents minimum, because one can be from this side, one can be from that side. They can accidentally also anti-flash by being behind this wall. You are definitely not getting lucky. Don't try it over here. But for showers, there's an opening gambit that I really like. You stand at the beginning of the round at the barrier over here at the doors, and you pre-aim your gate crash on this tile over here, like this. Doesn't matter if it's in the middle or in the corner, like this. You're gonna put it like this, and it goes over the doorway outside of showers. Now, do this only if you hear no fast footsteps in front of showers. If people are like pushing fast, like with good pathing, they're gonna be fast before you do your play. So we're gonna put the TP over there, right here, and when it travels, we're gonna swing out, wait for the TP, flash, TP out, and try to get kills like this. Now, typically, you want to flash behind you and also TP before the flash explodes. You want to bait people into looking into your position. So essentially, what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna set up it's actually a little bit better, but it slows down the TP if you do the lineup on this bright tile over here. So let's do it like on the middle of it, like this, because it travels a little bit more to the right. So now we can squeeze in the flash behind the TP like this. So we can exit the TP without having the flash in front of us or on our left. So you can exit the TP in this direction and everyone here is flashed. Now you have to immediately strafe after using the TP. Never stand still. You strafe after, left or right, doesn't matter, like after the TP, so you buy a little bit more time for yourself to equip the gun and get the kills. So one more time. We do it like this. We go out. We flash behind us, we TP, and we try to get kills. It's so unexpected for the opponents, there will be a lot of panicking. So the player who is standing over here, typically a Jet, was gonna smoke her off and like updraft and stuff. So you try to get a kill on the guy over here, and then the transfer to the other guy. But typically, in your ranked games, even at like Radiant Immortal level, there's gonna be only one person in showers. Unless the other person is pushing you fast, and then you will know that you should not do this in any way. After you do a successful kill by doing this flash TP play on showers, you actually have multiple options of what to do next. Because either you just go instantly back, grab the orb, and just go back onto site and have one TP still left. Or after getting the kill, you instantly set up a TP towards the spawn and you go back to showers, trying to get value out of defending this side when they're pushing through short, and then you TP back to the spawn and flank from the short. Now, the thing is, when you TP over here, they will never hear that you TP'd. So once they establish the info that you peeked out of showers, you have a free flank. And that's actually pretty decent timing as well. So you're going to be able to flank them fast while they're planting. Other option would be, of course, to push into short, but just be aware that when you do this flash TP play on showers and you're gonna push into short by shifting like this, they can hold you. If someone was standing in this position and heard the flash TP play in front of showers, they might actually just reposition and try to hold you over here. So just be aware of that. When it comes to defending lamps, it's one of my favorite positions here to play on bind, but just use the flash over here that bounces from this thingy over here. So it goes like a one-way flash over here. That just don't expose yourself to this position because this position doesn't get flashed. And when you're standing on this wall, bounce it like this, try to get one and just go back. Now let's do some flash TP plays for showers or for attack in general. So we're going to start with showers. We're going to stand in this corner and we'll have a lineup essentially at the beginning of the round before the barrier even drops. We're going to point out in this direction. I'm going to put down the barrier so you guys see exactly what I'm pointing at. But essentially, I put my crosser below the sign like this. It doesn't matter if you aim here, 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 or here. It's all the same. There's no difference if you look up or down. So we can just do it on top of this. Now, when the TP travels over here and ends up in this corner, but you will not TP into the corner because that is just how you die, typically. That's how you die. This is like the easiest counter that you can be, couldn't be done against you. So we want to, again, time it in the same way that I just showed you on the opposing side's flash and TP. So we're gonna time the flash and the TP during its time when it's moving. So we are gonna do the lineup, do the TP. Now I move a little bit to my right, so I see this, right? When I see this position over here, I'm gonna aim my crosser from the ground up, below the shelf, around 3/4, like this. This is gonna be my flash position. So it's gonna bounce like this. And the point of that is that it explodes over here. So it pop flashes people who are behind the wall, but are also holding from this position. So you can kind of safely TP in before you reach the apex of the position of the TP. So I am looking at exiting my TP, my gate crash, around this position, right? With the flash. And I do it this way. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna use the TP. Now I'm waiting, flashing, TPing. Flash explodes and I swing out. I will not be out in the open while TPing. I TP before, so I'm not easily seen by the person who's standing in the doorway, like here, and I will swing out after the flash explodes, because that's where this person over here and here is flashed. So you don't get killed by this, but also you bait the person who is standing anti-flash here to swing out because you TP'd out. And if someone went into this corner, you will see him with your peripheral vision when you swing out. It sounds a little bit complicated, but once you actually start doing it and practicing, and you will get killed by doing that as well, but you learn from all of that, you will nail it. So it's gonna be looking very fluid, right? Again, we're gonna do the TP. I'm gonna set up the flash. And I'm swinging out. And as you can see, I have full everything under control. I am not exposed to this angle when I TP, right? I will also look with my peripheral vision to see if someone is standing in this corner, and typically that person is fully flashed because they look into your direction before the flash pops, and then you can kill them. And if there are 3 players in showers, you die. But, you know, that's it. That anyone would die if there are 3 people in showers. But who the hell plays with 3 people in showers? But typically how it ends up in my games is I'm able to get 1 kill over here or 1 kill over here and just establish showers control. And even though this flash TP is very obvious, it catches a lot of people off guard. The most important thing is just to never be out of your TP with this person still holding this angle, because if that person doesn't get flashed, this is why it's important to have the pop flash explode in this area, because if the flash explodes over here, this person never gets flashed because they hold like this. So it's very tight. And you don't want to exit the gate crash in his field of vision, right? So you want to move right after exiting the gate crash into the crosshairs, but also aggressively just being aware that someone can be here and you have to kill them first before you kill the person who is fully flashed in this corner. Now let's talk a little bit about more complicated stuff that include also the clone lineups. I have one that attacks lamps and it's incredibly efficient and it's incredibly powerful, but it's a one and done. I don't think you can do this more than once per game, at least against skilled players, because they will learn to adapt. But you can try. Sometimes it works. But there's definitely one time when you use it and your opponents are completely dumbfounded of what just happened. So our goal is to establish lamps control. So we're going to TP into this corner, but we're going to combine our position with the clone running there and also with a flash. And we're going to be looking at our gun being either a judge, a bucky, or a stinger, because in lamps those guns will really flourish, and also the equip time of the stinger will be helpful there, which unfortunately is not faster on the bucky and the judge, but hey, that depends on also how confident you are with your stinger play. Now we're gonna stand in this corner before the barrier drops, and before the barrier drops we're gonna use a lineup for our clone. Now see this graffiti over here? I know with the barrier is a little bit less visible, but there's a graffiti over here, like a blue hue. And there's a leg of this graffiti. This is his foot. Now, on this foot, you will put your crosser over here. So, but you're standing from this corner. So right here, this is the foot. It's barely visible, but you have to find it, right? Now you put your crosser like this on the top of its foot, but a little bit on the right. You right-click your clone before the barrier drops. So it's specifically in this position. And now, when the barrier drops, you're gonna put your TP first between his fingers. Over here. See those fingers? Middle and the pointing finger? You put your cursor in between them. Like this. And once the barrier drops, you're gonna put your TP forward. Like this. And you're gonna activate your clone once this TP reaches this wall. Now that is incredibly important, and I will show you in full execution, because now, as you can see, your TP reaches the lamps exactly in the spot where we wanted it to be, but also you have to combine it with two other pieces of util. So I have this clone on my legs. I'm gonna put the TP forward. I turn around, I look where the TP is, it's on the wall, I drop my guns, activate the clone runs through. And the clone runs through towards lamps. It reaches lamps and it actually goes inside of lamps, so it baits out the shot. So now when I know this will happen, I will be able to combine the clone with the flash that lands like this. And I will put this flash before the clone reaches that position as well. So it's gonna bait people into thinking that the Yoru clone with the knife is an actual person, and they will run away from it, go into lamps and shoot it, and that's the moment when you strike. So the full execution will look something like this. We do the lineup for the clone, do the lineup for the TP, we turn around, activate the clone, follow the TP. No one shoots the clone. I prepare myself. I flash. I TP. Follow into the lamps. And all of that, if you do it properly, the clone gets the attention. You flash the person standing here. They might also shoot the clone, the fully flashed, and you TP and kill them. And if the clone is not being shot, then the clone ends up into lamps, and that person who's holding lamps is shooting the clone 100%, and then you swing and kill them. The only problem with this play is if someone is standing in cubby over here, because even if you TP behind the cover over here, you have to push towards lamps and then you expose yourself. So you have to be very aware that this can happen. Not much you can do about it, but maybe you can ask your teammates for a little bit of help. Maybe they can take care of this person when you TP and they push with you. Now, when it comes to Hookah, I don't really like attacking Hookah because I think, and I explained that in my mistakes bind video, that attacking for Hookah is typically a mistake. You want to go full forces through long, and as a Yoru, I would always prefer going there instead of Hookah. But if I really want to go to Hookah and I want to do a TP flash, then there's one that I like doing. So We approach Hookah normally, we just check everything with dry peek, we just check every corner like this, right? And then now when we establish that I don't see anyone, I'm putting the TP in this corner. Now I don't go forward, I just let the TP go there. Now I go back, when the TP is traveling, right? I go instantly back like this. And when the TP is still traveling, I'm gonna flash and TP, so I end up in that corner, so it will look like this. And it explodes here. So when it explodes over here, it flashes every single person in Hookah. Now it's very important to do that because you're gonna TP looking in this direction. So we peek out, we check the corners, we put the TP, we go back, we flash, and I turn around and now I try to get kills. Mechanically, this is pretty challenging because you have to check your corners very fast. With a low sensitivity like mine, it is pretty challenging. If you have a high sensitivity, it's something that you will do more reliably. But again, I do not recommend attacking Hookah because it's high risk, low reward. You have to go with your spike anyway through long and not through Hookah to avoid losing the spike in Hookah, which is basically like a round lost. If you ever do that, 90% is round lost because the people from A instantly teleport and you pinch it. But when it comes to long, we have something else. When it comes to long, I have a barrier position TP lineup. So we put our crosser in this position, barrier drops, we instantly use the TP, we rush out, we go and check long so no one crosses to my left side. I check this corner, and when the TP reaches the wall, or even before it reaches the wall, I already want to flash and TP. Now the reason for that is I don't want to be in the corner so I can more easily check this position. I flash on here. It's very simple flash, it's just bouncing like that and it's nothing fancy. But the point is, it's pretty hard to dodge because it bounces from the doorway and explodes in front of the doorway. So people holding guard and are gonna get flashed behind them, but it explodes in front of them. So it acts like a pop flash. So in full execute, it will look something like this. I check everything. Flash, TP. And I can kill the person in this corner. This person holding over here gets fully flashed and falls back. So I isolated two corners and I can check everything. Now, after I did that, I will not instantly push side because most likely my teammates have to follow me up. I just cleared the space on garden myself and I wait them to join to me. So now we can either go to side or TP or go back depending what's the next call. Attacking B side is incredibly complicated because of the amount of positions and angles that need to be checked, so your flashes will not be super effective. So I typically don't recommend using like a flash TP play on the B side. It's probably better to just use the clone to go on site, follow the clone with a pop flash through the smoke and just explode on site. It's a little bit better than just TPing out because TPing out is gonna be met with a lot of opposition, right? But if you want to TP out, there's one that I very much like and it's super fun to do. So the goal of the TP is gonna be to establish a quick kill and hide behind hard cover. So we're gonna TP onto the side in front of this tube, jump up instantly, try to get a kill and hide in backside and do the next step from here. The problem is you need to do this really incredibly fast. You need to be very precise and also flash during the moment you exit the TP. And there's a very small window for that. But you have 3 different flashes that I will recommend for those different areas here that you're gonna have to be aware of. Flash number 1 that I recommend when doing this TP to side is gonna be on the top of this wall over here like this. Now, this explodes on site over here, like above site. It flashes people behind, it flashes the people looking out of the cubby but not in the corner of the cubby, so remember that, and also not the person who's standing behind the box directly, but if they stand anywhere here, they're gonna get flashed. If there's no smoke on elbow, but there should be one, people on elbow also gonna get flashed. And if someone is standing in the cubby, they're gonna get flashed as well. Although for this person over here, it can be relatively easy to dodge it if they see it, but not always they will see it, depending on how they just play the game. So when you do this flash, you're gonna be jumping up on the side and kinda ignore the person in this cubby and just try to not get killed by that. If there's someone there, you just fully ignore it and hopefully your teammates will clear that corner when you TP'd. Your goal is just to TP onto side and get one kill in the cubby or establish back control. So when I do an actual execute, it's gonna look something like this. We put the TP. Remember, this is gonna be most likely smoked, so you can be out in the moment over here and just put the TP like this. I prepare myself, I flash, TP, jump up immediately, and go on top of site, right? You try to get kills in the meantime, and you have to be aware that someone can be in the tube. So you have to be very agile by doing this. So when you jump up, you instantly start running. You can run and gun even people. It can be possible, right? So be very, very, very agile and confident. You just get a one, jump down, then swing out, get the second one if someone is hiding inside of the tube, and that person never gets flashed, right? Also remember, when you jump up here, you only need to jump on this, like this. But then you can walk. You don't have to jump because of this small things, those 2 steps. You can just run up. So you don't have to jump twice. You jump up once and you go over and just run. Now, the second flash that I also can recommend, it's again has a downside, but we're gonna work around it. It's great for flashing the people in cubbies over here, and it's good for the person in this position as well, but it's not great against the person who is in the backside. The reason for that is because we're gonna be bouncing it from the wall where it says kingdom. There's most likely a smoke in front of you here, so you can go into garden and use this position as a lineup. Essentially from here, you're gonna know exactly what you're gonna expect. Even if there's a smoke, you're gonna still see this part of this of the map. So you're gonna put your crosser on this line over here. It doesn't really matter exactly if here or here or here, they're gonna achieve exactly the same role. But essentially when you flash like this, it's gonna bounce from the backside over here and explode here. So the people hiding in the cubbies are all gonna be flashed, but the person in behind side will be just slightly flashed. So that's your risk position. When doing this flash lineup, you can go as low as this line over here and it still will achieve similar results because it flashes above the side and will still get the flash of all the people in all of those positions over here. So you don't have to be super precise. Just aim anywhere here in this area and we'll be fine. The important thing is understanding the timing, but also the TP position. So I'm using the lineup for the TP by aiming over those, I don't know what this is, the part of the building over here. So it travels in the direction of the steps on the top of the side so I can run up there, right? So over here. But also you need to understand that you need to flash instantly. You are after activating the gate crash. So because of the travel time, otherwise you're gonna be too late. So it will look something like this. So when you throw your flash, you're gonna count down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then TP like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're up. Again, practice makes perfect. Even though I TP out before the flash blooms, I am not being flashed because I look into the right direction over here and the flash is on my left. So I don't get fully flashed, but my opponents are. And because of that, I am able to attack fast, go back, and be safe in backside, even if there's someone in the cubby, because in that position, he should be flashed when I'm moving fast on top of the site. Let's talk a little bit about the ultimates now. If I have enough cash, I will leave a gun like a phantom over here in the corner, go for the stinger ult, leave the TP here, go on long, and now from long decide what to do with the ultimate. If I hear footsteps on long, I will use the ultimate to scout long and try to get a kill over here by isolating the players, right? So I check how many players are here. I typically will flash it, exit here, try to use the clone as well, maybe flash a second time, get a little bit of damage done, even if I can't get a kill. I TP back, pick up the gun, and defend B side. This slows down the attack, or maybe even completely stops it because the players want to clear me from long, because they don't know that I TP'd out, right? If I do it behind cover. Now, it's easier though to do this execute if they're actually attacking the A side, because what I typically would do then, if I have the cash, again, I will leave the phantom over here, use the TP in the corner, go on to long, jump through long essentially, just to scout a little bit as well, and then activate the ult after going into the showers, because I'm not gonna be in danger, and with 10 seconds on the marker, is actually relatively important to activate it after the TP because you have no time. So I go here, activate the ult, and now I go, if there was no one on long B, of course, right? I can check showers, I can see if there's anyone showers, I can scout here as well, try to isolate one person, flash, and try to get a kill. Now, if I seen someone in showers, I will try to kill the person in showers. I always try to see one person who doesn't have any help, isolate that person and kill them. Now, when it comes to actually how to kill someone with the ultimate, I explained that in the Yoru guide that I released before. I'm not gonna go into in depth over here, but just try to isolate and kill a person, right? So the other attacking ultimate that I like using here, because this one is essentially, I always play on B if I like to, because I feel like it's so much more nuance to defending on the B side than on the A side with Yoru, because you can still have so much value with the teleporter. On A side, you can't really have that because TPing into Hookah is risky, I would say. It doesn't give you a lot of flexibility as well when it comes to your positioning. Now, the attacking ultimate that I like using is on long B. The attacking ultimate that I like doing is something that requires, unfortunately, most likely cooperation with your teammates. So I would ask my teammates to go with 4 players towards long. The reason for that is I'm gonna go alone without this spike through Hookah, clear Hookah, and try to pincer the person in garden. So when the barrier starts, right, before the barrier drops, I'm gonna put my TP in spawn. That's important because when you're gonna TP back, that no one is gonna hear you TPing back, so you can run up back, right? So you don't get flanked, but you can outflank someone else. Now, when you do this, I'm just gonna barrier drops down, I'm walking up here, activating the ultimate as soon as possible, or rather as late as possible, check out Hookah, look quickly at garden, no one here, then I try to clear backside, no one here, then I try to go into elbow and have this control. Or if I see anyone on the side or in garden, I always try to use the flash. Let's say I'm during the ultimate, I see a person in garden, I flash that person in garden to help my teammates scale up, right? And then if I see a second person on site, I'm gonna try to kill them with the ultimate and with the second flash, or at least create enough confusion that my teammates can attack and get kills. If my teammates get the kill on long, it's also very possible that he will just get the site for free, but if they get the kill on long and you cannot really like see that it's easy to go on site because there are 2 more players there, you can always call for rotation with the TPs to A, because most likely your execute with the ultimate on the B side will make the players rotate already, so you can get good timing with the TP towards A. One in Hookah, that's Raze, use the grenade. I don't see, one long, close. He has paranoid, one top side. Elbow. Elbow dead. Go side. Nice one way though.
One enemy remaining.
If you watched the entire video, leave a comment saying Yoru is the best Valorant agent. I will personally thank you there. And thank you so much for watching my content. You can leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you liked it. And there are more guides coming. But if you also want to watch the other stuff that I have on my channel, all of it is educational Valorant content for you to become a better player. Hope you enjoyed it and see you next time. I would also like to personally thank all of the subscribers on Twitch and specifically Twitch Tier 3 subs: Garrett, Linoxis, Brazen, Mameda, Hustlers Creek. Tier 2 subs: Godhunt, Diaridium, Goldil, Just Clue, and to my Patreons: Blaze Valo, Akina-chan, Def Lotus, and the Giga supporter Brazen. Thank you so much.
Jumping, man. No, that's no showers though. Shower. In the smoke, I think.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
Oh, that's good.
Flashing.
Smoke light.
Nice.
Portal closed. Neutralized.
Hey, clear, boys, hey, clear. TP.
One enemy remaining.
Fortnite, baby.
Spike dropped. I have the spike.
2 bullets to make sure that I'm still there, so they have to check it. Now my teammates could push B because of they're afraid that I'm backstabbing, but that's not gonna happen. Wait, there's a Vandal over here.
Spike planted.
You had your fun.
One tap.
One enemy remaining.